Today, I am directing all schools in Virginia to remain closed at least through the end of this academic year.
In light of the governor's new statement that I love y'all and I miss you terribly already, it's going to be a tough adjustment.
This has been an unusual time for all of us.
I miss my room 109 kiddos. They are the best.
I'm overwhelmed by the love that they exhibit for wanting to feed our students here in Chesapeake.
Hey everyone, just because school is closed doesn't mean the learning has to stop.
Thank you to everyone and all our teachers and administrations helping us.
Today we're doing the second round of the Chromebook distribution.
This game is really hard.
Might not make it in. We're trying.
I know a little song and it sounds kind of funny. It's all about coins and the value of money.
We can do it.
I got it in first try!
I know that we'll always share that special bond, but it's just the really milestones that kind of are the most missing.
I feel like they care for me, they care about me having my own yearbook for memories.
You have the power to overcome any adversity.
At Deep Creek Central Elementary in Chesapeake, 90 students returned to the building today. They're all in special education, preschool, or kindergarten.
90% of my students logged in.
It's Woodhouse's 28th year teaching, and virtual learning isn't changing her excitement.
Welcome back to On-Campus Learning. You've been doing a great job online, and for many of you, just like me, it's time to come back into your school building.
And we would like to give you a People Taking Action Award. Congratulations!
Good. Are you ready for Friday?
She is so patient. It's okay, friend.
Make sure everyone knows that they can be assigned to, no matter who you are.
I have been making these earrings for you.
Your family is special no matter what time it is. She was famous for refusing to give up her busty.
Wow, what a year it's been. I'm Chris Crouch, and looking back on all that Chesapeake Public Schools has overcome and accomplished in the past year makes me the proudest I've ever been to serve as the chair of the Chesapeake Public Schools Education Foundation. As you just saw, the past year was full of challenges, but even more successes. And whether it was a foundation donation to purchase $100,000 worth of Wi-Fi hotspots to get our students connected, a partnership with local churches to supply the toiletries and other essential items to our families at meal distribution sites, or our educators working to discover creative and innovative ways to reach their students, it has certainly been a year to remember and clearly one to be proud of. It is now my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Chesapeake School Board, Ms. Victoria Prophet.
Thank you very much, Chris. I'm also very proud to join you tonight at this year's virtual State of the Schools event, a first of its kind designed to celebrate and commemorate the outstanding achievements of our students, staff, and community during one of the most challenging school years any of us have ever seen. Since my election to the Chesapeake School Board in 2012, I have been proud to be associated with my fellow board members who care deeply about the well-being of our students, proud of our students who are creative, intelligent, and kind, and proud of a staff of professionals who are dedicated to their craft and committed to the cause and success of public education. That has never been more true than over this last year. A year ago, it's also true that no one could have imagined what we were about to face. But despite a worldwide pandemic that abruptly closed our buildings and the ever-evolving health threat we all faced, Chesapeake Public Schools never lost its focus on serving our students. The hard work and dedication of our teachers, school nurses, custodial and food services staff, our principals, administrators, our technology department, our bus drivers, and every other member of our educational family should all make us proud to call Chesapeake home. And I know that no one is prouder than Dr. Jared Cotton, Superintendent of Chesapeake Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Prophet. I think you are absolutely right. I'm not sure anyone could be prouder than I am of what our students and staff have achieved in the last year. That's why tonight we're taking the time to say thank you, to celebrate the state of our schools together. Our district is only as strong as it is because of the people you are and the work you have done. So we are all so proud tonight to thank the countless unsung heroes who have worked behind the scenes and, of course, in front of their computer screens to ensure that we stayed true to our core values even during the most trying of circumstances. We lived through history together and made history together too, in all the ways we adapted to meet the challenges placed before us. As Mr. Crouch and Ms. Prophet already pointed out, this year was a year like no other, a once-in-a-lifetime set of circumstances. Circumstances that sometimes felt unfair, circumstances that often felt overwhelming, circumstances that at times felt insurmountable. And yet, despite all of that, we did what educators are born to do. We learned, we tried, we made mistakes, and then we tried again. And while I know without a doubt that our students learned important concepts this year, whether it was the foundations of Algebra 1, or the elements of persuasive writing, or even how to count to 100, they also learned many life lessons along the way. They learned that they can do hard things, and they can overcome difficult circumstances. And by watching the adults and their lives both in the room and on Zoom, they learned how to persevere when things get tough. Every person in our school district faced the personal and professional challenges that this year brought with integrity, grit, and determination. Determination to teach our students, to care for each other, and to do our best. Our best at times involved focusing our attention on student and staff safety, developing strong mitigation strategies that could keep as many students learning on campus as possible, providing technology and resources for our students learning at home and other specific pandemic-related efforts. But we also kept student learning at the top of our list of priorities. Academics, after all, is our #1 goal. But as we have always known, and the pandemic just reconfirmed, students do their best when they know you care.
I've been teaching at Chesapeake Public Schools. This is my 37th year, all of which have been in Chesapeake, all of which have been at Southwestern Elementary. I love students. I love children. I met Robert in 4th grade.
Well, she's a nice teacher, and she helped me get through 5th grade.
I already knew some of the challenges I might have to face.
He had a very unusual childhood. And I want to make him and his brother both to be very valuable to the society.
I have messed up, and then she went back and told me that I can do it, and then I did it and I got it right.
She would tell him stories and things, and he would come home and tell me. I said, well, she was right.
His great aunt We got along. We developed a relationship during the year so we could keep Robert on the right track and get him where he needs to be.
But we was looking at birthday cards, and he went over there and said he wants something for his teacher.
The card touched my heart because I just wasn't expecting it from Robert.
Teachers really deserve more than what they get because teaching is not easy.
The meaning of love, someone who makes you feel good about living, who brings out the you who is joyful in giving.
With you, I found someone who accepts me as I am, yet helps me to become a better, more fulfilled person. I will always have memories of places, milestones that I've made. I will never forget you.
I will never forget Robert either.
After 37 years of teaching and a global pandemic, Mrs. McNeil still provided a perfect example of the power of positive relationships and how those relationships build confidence in our students and ultimately lead to academic success. Robert provided a perfect example of the pride we all feel when we see students overcome adversity and achieve to their fullest potential. But another thing we as educators have always known is that in order for a child to learn and grow, sometimes even more basic physical needs must be met. Our second strategic goal focuses on our employees, all of which deserve the highest of praise for what they have accomplished this year. But tonight, I'm so proud to highlight one group in particular that stepped up to the plate to help meet some of our students' most basic needs. This group of school nutrition employees, led by Director Larry Wade, created the foundation for us to continue to focus on the learning, on the relationships, and on the success that would follow.
On the first day, we served 742 breakfast meals and 742 lunch meals. We expect that number to rise as we continue with this effort to provide meals to our families and students throughout the city of Chesapeake. I'm overwhelmed by the love that they exhibit for wanting to feed our students here in Chesapeake. When we came together in such short notice to try to prepare the meals, we had an overwhelming response from those who were eager to come to work. What we essentially did was pull together 3 people from each of the schools that we would serve the meals out of, and we had so many volunteers that we literally had to put people on hold. These men and women come together every morning and they put together more than 1,700 meals in the event that we have those meal requests for students as they come to our buses. Have a great day. Back up tomorrow. It is quite a collaborative effort feeding students during this unprecedented time. We have the Chesapeake SRO officers around at each school site, and where every bus goes there's an SRO there, thanks to Mr. Hewing and his team. We have transportation thanks to Dr. David Benson and his team. They've been extremely helpful with helping planning the routes and getting people to drive the buses. And so I'm more than happy to work with them, more than excited about the work that they do in making a difference and being a part of the Chesapeake family and education mission.
It's clear from that piece that early in the pandemic, Mr. Wade and his staff were ready and willing to help our community in any way that they could. And they continue, more than a year after that initial interview took place, to provide free curbside meal distribution to all children in Chesapeake twice a week at all 45 of our schools. Our third strategic goal focuses on our environment, and nothing was more critical to us this year than providing an environment where our students and staff felt safe. That's why we are so proud of another group that was ready to step up and face the unprecedented challenges of this past year. Our nursing team, led by Mrs. Trudy Gelderks, ensured that all of our health and safety protocols were in place by the time our first students returned to our buildings. They developed and maintained thorough contact tracing protocols, and when the time came, they were there to quickly provide the first vaccines available to teachers in Hampton Roads.
Orion Burke was among the first teachers in Hampton Roads to receive a COVID-19 vaccination.
You know, it's my duty to try to protect others. I have a wife who is high risk with cystic fibrosis, and I have a newborn baby at home. And my mom is diabetic, so I would hate to, have any chance of bringing anything back to, affect one of them.
Teachers poured into Deep Creek High School for the vaccinations. Among those in the first group, teachers and staff who work directly with students.
I think it relieves some stress, so yeah, it's fantastic.
School officials were pleasantly surprised to get the vaccine so soon, and they tell us they worked very hard to come up with a schedule quickly so that no vaccines would be wasted.
We've made the commitment that whenever they tell us they have doses ready and whenever they're available, we're taking them.
Superintendent Cotton credits their great relationship with the health department.
We couldn't have done it without the school nurses. We couldn't have done it without Trudy. We couldn't have done it without our school epi. We are very fortunate, and I will say the envy of lots of districts, because we have always enjoyed a very, very close working relationship with the school. School is a part of public health. It's helping these children grow and be healthy and want to learn, and that means we want to provide a healthy environment.
We remain extremely grateful to Mrs. Gelderks, her entire team, and to the Chesapeake Health Department for their support and partnership throughout the process. That easily brings me to our fourth and final strategic goal, community. Even though we identified 4 main goal areas in our strategic plan, they were always designed to complement one another, and it's become increasingly clear this year that the support we receive from our community is woven through everything we do and ultimately helps us realize our mission of engaging, inspiring, and empowering our students to achieve their highest potential. This year, even when some of our traditional opportunities for community involvement had to be limited to reduce the potential spread of illness, there was still an overwhelming desire for people to come together to help our students and their families. Take a look at just one of the ways we saw that happen this year.
Faith in Chesapeake is a group that actually was put together for Chesapeake Public Schools and the COVID issues. And when COVID hit, a lot of things that were up in the air, a lot of things that people didn't realize what was going to be next.
Taylor Grissom really took the lead, and he created really an organization where all the churches could work together, magnify all of the resources that we had. We're so blessed to live in a city where we have so much compassion and there's so many people that want to give.
We were already looking for ways when the pandemic started to find out how can we help.
A lot of times it's hard for churches to come together and work with one another because they're so used to doing their own programs, and which was great. However, this was a community need, and I saw area churches come together for that purpose, for that reason. And it was bringing together area churches to work with one another and to go to their areas.
We have Sherry with Community Church, and Sherry has actually been out here for the last couple of months in her church, along with believers and
Community Church.
Yeah.
We saw the churches coming together, working with one another, and just meeting the needs of the community.
Oh, just life-changing. So my heart is to serve, and I believe one of the greatest ways we come out of our funk daily, because we all have been in a funk, is to just go serve others, and we can see that there's greater needs than even in ourselves.
I just want to say this has truly been a joy and an honor. Again, all of the great relationships that were developed, some great people from all walks of life. It was truly a blessing to be a part of it, and we look forward to continued partnerships with Chesapeake Public Schools to continue to support our community.
It was the church being the church.
As you can see, Chesapeake Public Schools is full of unsung heroes, people who play key roles in creating a school community that promotes positive relationships, unique learning experiences, and a safe and supportive learning environment. You met just a handful of those individuals tonight, each one representing a different facet of our Chesapeake Public Schools mission, but all supporting the overall success of our schools and our students. I know without a doubt that the successes of our district comes as a direct result of the students, staff, and families who have embraced our mission and consistently embody our core values. And to honor those values and to celebrate the dedication and commitment of the people that live them each and every day, I'm proud tonight to unveil a new district award, the Pride of the Peak. As you've seen, not just tonight, but hopefully throughout the entire last year, we have so much to be proud of. And you've already been introduced to our first recipients, each of whom embody the spirit of our 4 strategic goal areas: academics, employees, environment, and community. I hope you'll join me in celebrating them one more time. Southwestern Elementary teacher Deborah McNeil, who even after 37 years in her career still made it a priority to connect with every student and to maintain those relationships and ensure students and families are supported during challenging times. Mr. Larry Wade, Director of School Nutrition Services, who made it a priority to provide meals to all students during the initial shutdown and continues that important work over a year later. Supervisor of Health Services, Trudy Gelderks, who led the effort to ensure the safety of our entire school community with enhanced safety protocols and who partnered with the Chesapeake Health Department to ensure our employees had access to the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as possible. And community member Taylor Grissom, who coordinated area churches and other local community organizations to provide additional support for our families during their hour of need. The work of these individuals has not gone unnoticed, and I look forward to the opportunity to thank them again in person with a special Pride of the Peak plaque that was handcrafted by our students at the Chesapeake Career Center. When I last provided a State of the Schools address in the fall of 2019 to a packed Chesapeake Convention Center, no one could have known that I would have to give my next address to you virtually. No one could have imagined that we would have to condense our 5-year one-to-one technology initiative into just a few short months. And no one could have known that we'd need to close schools for something other than a few inches of snow. There are so many things that, looking back on the last year, we didn't expect and we couldn't have anticipated. But through it all, there were a few things that I always knew. I always knew that every member of our team could rise to meet any challenge. I knew you'd always do what was in the best interest of the children of Chesapeake, and I knew you'd always support one another. Anyone who has ever seen the love and dedication of our educational family would have known. I also know that we can't celebrate any of these accomplishments without also celebrating our students that have adapted and persevered through it all. That's why tonight I'm very honored to share the stage, well, the screen, with some of our very talented students from Jolliffe Middle School, with an important reminder that sometimes, no matter what, you just need to sing.
Just sing, sing it together, louder than ever, ever. Forget everything, just sing like it's what we could miss. And never listen, listen, forget everything. You think you gotta hide it. Keep it on the shelf. Let your waist start moving, wash away. I do it, see me do it like nobody else. Don't you stop it, don't you fight it. If you got it, can't deny it. It's waiting for you already. You know that you do it like nobody else. Just sing, sing it together, louder than ever, ever. Forget everything, just sing like it's what we could miss. And they're gonna listen, listen, forget everything. Sing it all together if we sing it
As we begin to wrap up a year that no one is likely to soon forget, I also want to thank our school board and our educational foundation for their steadfast support. And thank you for allowing me to continue to serve this great city and this amazing school system.
As you can see from this evening's presentation, when there is a need, our Chesapeake community comes together. Each year, the Chesapeake Public Schools Educational Foundation is proud to not only be a part of the Chesapeake family, but also to provide financial support and opportunities to our students and staff. Just this past year, we were able to provide over $25,000 in innovative instructional grants to our teachers, professional development opportunities with nationally recognized speakers as part of the Chesapeake Public Schools Speaker Series, and a teacher supply store where our educators are able to shop for classroom supplies at no cost. We are proud of the work that we do, but we can only do it with the support of our community and our business partnerships, many of whom you saw featured at the start of tonight's event. If you'd like to learn more about the Chesapeake Public Schools Educational Foundation or how you can help make an impact in our school district, please visit www.cpscf.com. Thank you for attending this evening's State of the Schools. We look forward to seeing you at next year's event.
Just sing, sing it together, louder than ever, forget everything. Just sing like it's what we've been missing, and never listen, forget everything. You think you gotta hide it, keep it on the shelf, let your waist start moving, wash away. I do it, see me do it like nobody else. Don't you stop it, don't you fight it. If you got it, can't deny it. It's